From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Harriet Agbe.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, as the search for abducted schoolgirls continues, the President meets with the Governor of Borno State, the Commissioner of Education, the Chibok Principal, and the National Coordinator of WAEC. The National Coordinator of WAEC says an advice to the Borno State government to relocate the abducted girls to a safer venue was ignored. Former Head of State, retired General Yakubu Gowans, asked Nigerians to support the federal government in its bid to tackle security challenges in the country. And rescuers in Afghanistan abandoned their search for survivors after 2 landslides destroyed a village and killed as many as 2,500 people.
On business news tonight, all is set for the World Economic Forum on Africa, and analysts say it will have a positive impact on Nigeria's economy.
And on sports news, Manchester City go top of the English Premier League with a hard-fought 3-2 win over Everton at Goodison Park.
The President is meeting with the Governor of Borno State, Alhaji Kashmir Shettima, over the insecurity in his state. President Goodluck Jonathan got into the meeting at about 9:30 p.m. today. Also present at the meeting are the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Ayim Pius Ayim, the Senate President, Mr. David Mark, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Abubakar, the Commissioner for Education in Borno State, and the Principal of the Chibok Secondary School. This meeting is a follow-up to the meeting the President's wife had yesterday night with wives of state governors. We'll bring more details and updates on this ongoing meeting as we get them. Now, as you know, the ongoing meeting with the President is coming after the First Lady met with wives of governors, female legislators, and leaders of the various women groups in the country last night. Well, during the meeting meant to unravel the circumstances surrounding the abduction of the Chibok girls, Mrs. Jonathan was told by the head of the West African Examination Council, Mr. Charles Eguridu, that the Borno State government rejected a request by the West African Examination Council to relocate the over 530 students that wrote the examination to a well-secured center. Mr. Eguridu alleges that aware of the poor security situation in Borno and worried about the safety of students, WAEC declined to conduct its senior school certificate examination in unsafe parts of the state, including Chibok, but that the Borno State government assured them of adequate security measures.
Another group of Nigerian women gather in the office of the First Lady, frustrated. Some of them will be ruminating whether they would have got to the positions they are today if they were abducted as young girls. The First Lady has summoned the head of WAEC to tell them what he knows about the number of girls that wrote the examination before the abduction. He came with the pictures and the registration details.
Date of birth and age of each of the candidates.
His answers to the questions posed were also revealing.
530 candidates registered as for this exam by our records. From our records, the school before now was a girls' school. But for the 2014 examinations, 135 male candidates registered for the examination as part of this 530. When we made that representation to the 3 states affected, none of them responded to the Honorable Minister's request. But rather, we followed it up. I directed my zonal coordinator in Borno State in particular to liaise with the Ministry of Education in Borno State. And what response we received was so disheartening. They were told that they have security in place for the candidates, and that if we should come to the school and indeed other schools to conduct the exam there, that they are not ready to relocate their students from Chibok and indeed other areas to Maiduguri or nearby locations where the security agencies could provide security. So, if we failed to conduct the exams, the world will blame us. So at great risk, my officers went to Chibok and conducted the exams. Now, after the unfortunate incidents where these students were said to have been abducted, our staff now got a response from the state that they are now ready to relocate the remaining students to another place called Kuba, UBA. And as I speak, 189 candidates are continuing with the exams in Uba from the government girls secondary school, Chibok.
For the First Lady and the women here gathered, the exposition by the WAEC is revealing and must be handled seriously.
We will need you to come with us, some of the invigilators, who will really tell us if there is adequate security. They were not kidnapped. They moved 189 and they were not kidnapped. What remains to the, what is there for the remaining students? We want to know from WAEC and the invigilators and the principal and the governor of Borno.
The Borno State Commissioner of Women Affairs, Hajia Ena Galadima, who stood in for the wife of the governor, Nana Shetima, also told the meeting that 53 girls are currently in custody of the state government. The First Lady has set up a 6-member committee to be chaired by wife of Borno State Governor, Hajia Nana Shetima, to follow up on the revelations, expressing a determination to get to the root of the matter. Chukwuma Onwepusi, Channels Television News.
Well, staying with the lead story, members of the Unity Schools Old Students Association have asked the federal government to beef up security in schools. President of the association, Mr. Kabir Okoko, who spoke with reporters after a peace walk organized by the group in Abuja, condemned the killing and abduction of the Chibok school children by members of the Boko Haram sect. Mr. Okoko said the deployment of more security personnel would reduce the level of insecurity currently experienced in some schools across the country.
It's a peaceful work organized by former students of Unity schools in the country. They take to the streets of Abuja to preach the message of unity, peace and development. As former students of Unity schools, where killings and abduction of students have become the order of the day, they are calling for concrete efforts in ensuring better security in the schools.
This unity work is one of our own little way of showing our disgust with the way security has been allowed to degenerate to a level whereby even school children are not secure, are not safe in the confines of their school. So if school children are not safe in their compounds, in their hostels, tell me who is safe.
We feel very sad about the recent attacks, both at Bunyadi and the latest attack on the girls' secondary school. And we are dialoguing with government, with the Ministry of Education, to see how the safety of all school children in Nigeria, irrespective of whether they're from federal government colleges or other schools, is guaranteed and assured.
Another issue many of these Nigerians want is the protection of the nation's borders. This, they say, will guard against the influx of criminals into the country.
Our border lines are too porous. We need them to secure our border lines. The surveillance should be, topmost, 24 hours. I mean, Nigerians are peaceful people. We don't need people coming in to come and cause chaos and so much, problems for us.
Now, it seems all our children are not, secure in their schools. There's no more security. Everybody is afraid. We, the parents, are afraid. Children are afraid. it looks like they're trying to stop us from taking our children to school, and that is going to destroy our nation.
This group is just one out of the several others calling for better security measures at public places. It remains to be seen if their desire for improved security will be attended to by relevant authorities in the days ahead.
Meanwhile, as the Bring Back Our Girls campaign continues, leaders of the group have promised to mobilize more Nigerians at home and abroad to join their voice on the need for government to ensure the safe return of the abducted girls. The members say they remain resolute in speaking for the voiceless girls and their parents who are going through a challenging period.
Every concerned Nigerian and every concerned person the world over, this is about life. It is not about dead person. It is about people who are still alive but in the hands of dangerous people. And it is today 18 days and nothing positive, nothing tangible is being heard from where it is supposed to be heard, and that is the concern. Anybody who has a relation, anybody at all who is concerned about human life should be concerned.
The mobilization group, they will be looking at mobilizing more volunteers to this cause. A lot of people, Nigeria is already outraged at what is happening, and a lot of people don't even know how to help or do anything, because a lot of us just feel helpless. We don't know what to do. So the mobilization committee, for example, will be reaching out to people. You can meet with us here. You can come and deliberate. You can come and share your thoughts. You can come and see how we can engage government to do other things, to collaborate with what government is doing.
And as government, well, away from the Chibok story, we're still talking about security, and as government grapples with the spate of insurgency in the country, 103 officers of the Nigerian military and 11 other security agencies have concluded a one-month training exercise on internal security management, low-intensity conflict and counter-insurgency operations at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State. Addressing the officers during their graduation, Commandant of the college, Air Vice Marshal John Ifemije, asked the participants to put into proper use the skills acquired during their training. Such knowledge will amount to waste if they fail to apply it in the conduct of counterinsurgency and internal security operations in the country.
The exercise, which commenced on the 8th of April, was conducted in 5 main modules and include lecture on internal security environment, our role of each security agencies, as well as discussions on operational experiences of the Nigerian Armed Forces in the internal security operations. The training, which lasted for 4 weeks, afforded the participants the opportunity to understand the imperatives of multi-agency cooperation in internal security and low-intensity conflict management, information sharing and intelligence gathering to ensure prompt response to crisis situations.
Whatever you must have done here becomes a waste if you fail to apply it for the betterment of your various agencies and for the sake of synergy in the conduct of counterinsurgency and internal security operations in Nigeria.
Giving the highlight of the training earlier, the Director of Joint Studies, Brigadier General Benjamin Ahanotu, said the design of the training was such that many decisions were left to the players, with the aim of encouraging them to value the importance of joint consultation, sharing of information, and freedom of action.
Module 3 consisted of presentations and discussions on the operational experiences of the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies in some contemporary internal security operations. Module 4, on the other hand, was a physical demonstration of how the military and all other stakeholders conduct counterinsurgency operations. Therefore, interactions like this are aimed at developing new techniques and communications relations that are supposed to serve as the basis for updating our current standing operating procedure on internal security operations and low-intensity conflict.
Some of the participants share their experience.
I'm better informed about their model of operation. I'm better informed about the crisis in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And I have been well educated on how I can contribute my quota and impact positively on my agency about the crisis in the northeastern state.
It's really exposed us to the fight against terrorism. Besides that, it has opened our eyes to see how we as security men can cooperate together and work together to fight this insurgency. So I think we have learned a lot from here, and by the time we go back, we put it into practice.
Dealing with complex security challenges goes beyond the conventional techniques as enshrined in various military and paramilitary doctrines. Therefore, it is expected that a training like this, which is aimed at developing new techniques and communication relationships, should be sustained.
In part 2, after the break, former head of state, retired General Yakubu Gowon, asked Nigerians to support the federal government in its bid to tackle security challenges in the country. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.